as aspirants, we were asked to come for the official 10 list. Of course, we all know the delegates, but we are supposed to go for the official delegate list. And that I got, I think, 1 week to the elections. I need to check the date. I think it was 1st December or 2nd when my agent went to the party headquarters and bought the delegate list for 300 Ghana cedis. 2 days before the elections, we had some development in a few regions, including the Eastern region. A court in the Eastern region had annulled the youth elections in Eastern region because, according to the court, some 2 constituencies that participated in the youth elections was illegal. They were not supposed to participate. So they annulled the youth elections from the Eastern region and injuncted the youth organizer and his 2 deputies. And so the party issued a statement and stated clearly that the 2 constituencies that bear the fruit, that participated in the youth elections, which got it cancelled, were not going to participate in the national youth elections.
Okay. And
that made sense because they participated in the region which has got it cancelled, and so they will not participate. And all aspirants agreed. When we got to the ground, then the national youth organizer decided to object to the delegate list.
But he had agreed prior to that.
That is the delegate list, whether anybody agreed or not. That is the official delegate list the party had given to all aspirants. Mm-hmm. And so once he raised that objection and threatened to boycott the election, it brought a lot of confusion there.
Is that what?
And that is what delayed the elections.
All right.
That's what delayed the elections. Mm-hmm. And so these regional chairmen came in to, arbitrate. And for me, my position was that there's nothing to arbitrate. There's a delegate list. There's a court order. The party must abide by these orders. And so the back and forth in this, negotiations, they just asked the 2 of us to vacate the room. And they were going to come up with a final decision. And, whether anybody agreed or not, the person could take legal redress. And so because the 2 constituencies were being taken out of the delegate list, the National Youth Organizer said that is his home region, and he would not agree for those 2 constituencies to go off. Secondly, Greater Accra region has 40 accredited 10 institutions, and he had raised issues with 32 of them, that he was not going to allow the 32 to vote. But for me, the 3-member committee had settled on that 40. And so these people who came in to sort of negotiate and later said they were giving their orders, said that the 32 10 institutions that the National Youth Organizer was challenging, they were giving him 16 and giving me 16. As if we're there to vote, not to share votes. And so at the end of the day, could you imagine that some very key tertiary institutions, which play major roles in our party, like University of Ghana, did not vote. University of Professional Studies did not vote. Genfi main campus did not vote. And so...
Was Legon on the final list? Forgive me. Was Legon on the final list that was submitted to you? The delegate list that you got?
Yes, Legon was on. What do you call it? UPSA was on. Genfi was on. All the 40...
So you knew the delegates from Legon prior to the election?
Exactly.
The accusation is that Legon had just done election that particular day before the Congress, so they couldn't have actually had...
You see, that's what they get it wrong. The regulation is very simple.
Yeah.
10 presidents from accredited 10 institutions are the people that...
names.
It doesn't mention names.
Okay.
And even went ahead to say that those presidents that will be used for the regional elections are the same people that will be used for the national elections.
Okay.
Even in this particular case, the one who was supposed to be used for the regional elections got re-elected. And so there's no...
So it's the same person.
It's the same person, really. It's the same person, really.
So
how about the University of Professional Studies? Where the TANE app, the so-called Messianic TANE app was launched. What happened to that institution too? And so that is the...
They're also not allowed to vote.
They're also not allowed to vote. Genfi. that the National Youth Organizer said that he had issues with those institutions. And so they were just knocked off the delegate list. How do you change the rules of the game in the middle of the game? This one was not even in the middle, at the tail end of the game.
Altogether, how many of those 10 votes were basically taken off?
Okay, so 16 were taken off from Greater Accra region. 3 were taken off from Eastern region. 2 were prevented from voting in the voter region. 5 were added from the Northern region, and 1 was taken off from the Central region.
Are you only contesting the numbers that were taken off, or you are talking about the addition to from the Northern region?
Yes, I'm talking about the addition to from the Northern region. Because the final list that was submitted by the 3-member committee had 6 institutions for Northern region. And in fact, the delegate list that were sold to us had 16, not 21. It was at the last minute that they brought those 5 under the excuse that they voted in the regional elections. But the regional elections were supposed to conform with the national list. And so if the aspirants at that election did not protest and they allowed it to, it is not binding on me as an aspirant or a candidate for the national youth
when you protested
elections.
at the time, they dismissed it and proceeded with the election.
Exactly. They said that that's their decision. Anybody who didn't agree to it. Because I thought that was most unfair. We had a delegate list. We have all agreed. The Electoral Commission was ready setting up. And then out of the blues, the National Youth Organizer states that he was not going to allow that list to work. And if you check from the results, it should tell you that the National Youth Organizer knew that if the legitimate list was used, he was going to lose the elections. And that's why he threatened to boycott the elections.